Daphne Maxwell Reid. You were starting already. We are back, and I think everybody recognizes this lovely lady sitting next to me. Most of you know her as Aunt Viv, but what you probably did not know is that she is also a prolific photographer, author, and you have a cookbook. You're doing so many things, and you're still editing. How do you have time for all of this?
They're called calendars, which I, of course, produce. You have to wait for the acting jobs. An actor is the last person chosen for a project. So we've been on strike since March. So
Yes.
I don't have to worry about anybody calling me this week. So I have other things that keep me employed and keep the groceries coming in. So mine is my photography and the things that I create with my photography.
Now, how long have you been? How long have you been into photography, and when did you decide that you really wanted to pursue it? Did you always look at it as a hobby, and then you wanted to do something more with it, or have you always done more with your photography?
I was born in a family that my father has always taken pictures of us. I, thank God, have a collection of all those pictures from the 40s and 50s and 60s. My father was an amateur photographer. He always wanted to be a photographer, but he only did it for the family. And I can't remember being without a camera since I was about 6 years old. So I had a little brownie camera, and I've always had a camera. And I realized that I don't go anywhere, I don't move to any new place without a camera and a sewing machine. I can stand a camera and a sewing machine because I can always eat if I have a camera and a sewing machine. So my photography career started when I turned 60.
Wow.
I've been traveling a lot through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I always took pictures. And I realized when I come back and chat with my girlfriends about, oh, this is where I've been, look at this, and they said, oh, now you have pictures, you should have this in a gallery. And I said, well, you have to be a photographic artist to be in a gallery. And she said, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So on my 60th birthday, I decided I was going to be a photographic artist, and I assigned that to myself, and I had to figure out what that meant. So that's what I started, and I looked through all the pictures that I had taken in my travels, and most of them had to do with doors.
Yes.
Because my degree from Northwestern University is in interior design and architecture, and I'm always looking at the details in a building. And doors have craftsmanship and color, and I just am always attracted to doors. And I just always took pictures of doors, so I decided that would be my focus. And I've focused on it for years. I've written 4 books on doors. There's 2 of them, there's 1 of them left with that collection. But I have Cuba from 2015, and that's a book like this one, Doors, my first book, which I had to republish because I ran out. Yay! So wrong! So I updated it this year, and I have a new copy of Doors. And I kind of decided that God has given me a whole lot of gifts, and it is my duty to manifest these gifts. So I manifest them and I monetize them. So that has become my career of photography and publishing.
I like a couple of things that you said. The first thing is that you pursued photography at 60 years old. So there may be people out there who are thinking that I'm too old to start over again. And you had already had a successful acting career, and you said, I want to pursue my first love, which is photography, and then decided to pursue that. You didn't tell yourself, okay, well, nobody's going to want to hear what I have to say. I'm older now, but you went for it anyway. So that was the first thing that I saw. The second thing was that you have an eclectic taste when it comes to doors. I love doors as well. I love going. I love when I was in Belgium. I think I told you this before. When I was in Belgium, every time I saw a pretty door, I wanted to take a picture in front of it, to take a picture of it. And I just saw that. So you might think that maybe it's something that you have an interest in might be a little different, but you can still take that and monetize it and do something with it and make it into art.
How many people have just
There are so many people that I've run across. Oh, I love doors. I always take pictures of doors. So it ain't strange. It's a little focused, but it's not strange. What I decided was that my concentration on doors is kind of like a metaphor for life, because doors represent adventure, curiosity, and passages. So doors are always a part of your life. And what I want to encourage people to do is to notice all the small details of your life in the journey from A to B.
yes.
Because to get to B, you got to start over again to another A and B. But the journey is where all the juice is. That's where all the memories are made. That's where you get all the information you need to proceed past B. It's where the joy lies in the journey. So on your journey, notice the details of your life and be sure to take them in account as much as you take in, oh, I've achieved B. Okay, what's next?
There you go. There you
So
go.
life is the dash between your birth date and the date on your mark.
Absolutely.
Now, another thing that just listening to you reminds me of is Bel Air, the new Aunt Vivian, when she decided that she wanted to pursue her art. Now, you've been the other Aunt Viv who basically tried to ruin her. I mean, first of all, I just saw that parallel where she wanted to reinvent herself and she wanted to pursue that passion. I know that was a little bit of a play from the original Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but how did it feel just first of all looking at that and being able to explore that storyline a little bit more, and then how it parallels with what you were doing, how you had started off doing something?
Well, I was Aunt Vivian 2.0 because there was a lovely Aunt Vivian
Yes.
before
We
me
love her.
who had a career, who wanted to continue her dance career, but she was a lawyer, and she was. When I got to the show, they didn't focus on where I should have been. They just integrated me into the family.
Right.
So I didn't get it. And in the sitcom, in half an hour, you don't get to explore the 360 dynamic of a character. You go in, you say your line, you make them laugh, and you leave. And sitcoms are like that. But having the privilege to work with Cassandra, the new Aunt Vivian 3.0 on Bel Air, it was so, I guess it was so invigorating to see that they allowed her to explore her entire character, not just Aunt Vivian taking care of everything in the house. She was able to pursue her career. I was able to assist her in pursuing her career for a little while.
Yeah, until you got jealous, you know.
Until she got no better than me, and I had to step in. You know. But she got the last word. She made me retire. And I'm hoping that doesn't mean that was my last episode.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Okay.
The writers are on strike.
I know,
the
we
actors
can't-
are on strike.
yeah.
Nobody knows.
So we're all just staring at our streaming services waiting.
I'm glad. I'm glad. But to see all of the characters from Fresh Prince be able to explore dynamics of their personal selves is just a beautifully shot and wonderful production to be a part of. to see all those black faces behind the camera and from the big executive room, to see all these brothers and sisters doing it, I feel like my 50 years in show business was worth it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Now, you answered that, but I just wanted to dig a little deeper because one thing I do like about Bel Air is all of the characters from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, or the actors, I should say, have some type of a role. It seems, or at least most of them. I think there's still a couple of them I haven't seen yet. But I like the fact that they're still playing some type of a role in the new one. Oh, there's a reason. Oh,
Did anybody see the reunion of the original Fresh Prince? Will Smith introduced us to the new exec producer during that taping. And he told all of us, we want you to be part of this program. So each of us, Tatiana and I have been able to come on the show and have a running character. But I don't know who else is going to be there. I'm sure they'll show up.
Yes.
But Will is that kind of person because what we established at the Fresh Prince was a family.
Yeah.
And our family is still very close. So he also, at the end, if you watch the end credits for Bel Air, he says a special thank you and he gives the whole list of the original Bel Air.
Wonderful.
well, we are enjoying seeing you in that role. You know, you may not be in that role, but I love seeing you in the role that you are playing, and I do hope that you get to be in more episodes.
Of course, so much.
I've got some TV movies coming up.
Oh, goody.
I did, in 2020, we did something called The Business of Christmas, if anybody saw that. And then 2 years later, we did The Business of Christmas 2, and that's running. And then I did something for BET called The Trophy Wife.
I remember the Trophy Wife.
So I've been a busy girl, even during COVID, because Screen Actors Guild had really good protocols for dealing with working conditions. So we were able to work through the COVID. And I was glad that they reached back to old folks and brought us back on television.
And in the meantime, you're still pursuing those other talents. So I'm looking at what you have on the table right here. Let's talk a bit about Grace, Soul, and Motherhood, which is a cookbook.
Yes.
It's a mini memoir and a cookbook because I wanted to honor my mother. She was a terrific cook, but she was also somebody who I am trying to emulate in my life. She was one of the most non-judgmental, welcoming, warm people that I've ever come in contact with. And I would love to be like my mother. Growing up, all my girlfriends used to say, I want my mom to be like you. We could talk about anything. We were like sisters. And when I lost her in 2004, it struck a blow. It was too sudden. And I kind of grieved a long time, but then I decided to honor her instead. And I wrote her a letter, which I included in this book, telling her about my grieving. And I was able to find my voice and stay established as a woman because she gave me the chops to do that. And if I didn't live up to it, she'd be very disappointed. And I wouldn't want her to be disappointed. So I wrote a letter to her in September of the year she died. And I treasure this letter to her.
I think that it's a high honor for any mother to be able to hear their daughter say, I would love to be like my mother. My daughter says nice things to me every once in a while, you know. So,
Like Rhonda says, we try hard.
no, I have a great daughter. I always tell her she's mean to me, but she's really not.
She will be. She will be. You know, there's going to be times.
Oh, gee. It'll be okay. They'll come around when they say, oh, she was just trying to help me.
Yes. Yes.
But the cookbook is stories of the people that I've met along my way for years and years and years who have shared recipes with me or I've shared recipes with them. And I finally kind of collected all of them and told the stories of each of these recipes with the recipe. But I realized that there's so many people who don't cook anymore. So I got very basic at the beginning of this book and telling them how to set up a kitchen, what pots and pans to buy.
But that's a word right there about what types of pots and pans. You can't you can't cook everything with every pot and pan.
No, and I teach you how to set a table.
But it's not doing that anymore.
No. I consider sitting down.
Who knows how to set a
Who
table?
knows how to set a table? What side of the fork on? Left side. I consider sitting down with people you love as communion. And that is it. Cooking is serving my love to the people who I share my food with. And I share my food with whoever's at my table, and they come from all over the place. I'm just joyful that I'm able to share so much love and then take that love and write it down and put it in this book and hopefully share it with you all. The only thing about Grace Soul and Melody is I only have 8 copies remaining. So if you want a copy, you've got to fill out a form and I will ship it to you free. But you have to pay for it today and I will ship it to you with no cost. And you'll get the last copies of Grace Soul and Melody. I'm blessed to say that they're almost all gone, which is just wonderful to me. I also take these photos for doors and I manifest them in all sorts of other ways, in note cards, because y'all ain't writing no notes, y'all texting it back. Stop all that texting. Write a handwritten note to somebody. Just say, hi, how you doing? And I've got the cards for you to do that. And also every year, for the past 8 years, I travel a lot. And every year I do a calendar of the doors of the country that I traveled in. This year it's Africa. So I've got the doors of Africa in here, and it'll show you a wonderful array of things all over the west coast of Africa. I went from South Africa all the way up to Senegal, and I just had a joyful time exploring where we came from.
Now, wait a minute. Didn't you also have a bag with all of the doors on there as well? Do you still sell those?
Yes, I had some tote bags. I took my photos and created a fabric. And since I'm a seamstress, I took that fabric and created tote bags with doors on them. They're for sale. Also, these jackets are for sale. I make these. This is my design. And it's called Daphne Style. You can get all this stuff on my website. Okay, get your pens up. DaphneMaxwellReid.com. DaphneMaxwellReid.com. Y'all can look up how to spell my name. It's real easy. DaphneMaxwellReid.com. And then you'll find all these things that I do. And it's great. Gift giving time is coming up. So I would love to sell out of everything. Just follow me. Come see me.
Well, since there are also people watching online, I went ahead and put your website in the chat, and it's on the screen if you are watching it from the National Black Book Festival Facebook page or the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page. It's on there as well. We do what we can here at the National Black Book Festival. You know, I think this is my 3rd time interviewing you, and I really, really enjoy talking with you because you do have that mother wit. It's like, But you make the conversation very easy because you have fun with it, which is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with just having fun with whatever you do.
First mandate in my life is joy. Start with joy and you go on everywhere else with that.
Absolutely.
But I enjoy talking about the gifts that I was given. It's just been a blessing that I've been able to do these things and to manifest all these wonderful gifts that I have. And Poppy said it, you gotta have a little bit of arrogance. You gotta know your worth. And I am glad that I was able to find my worth and be able to live in it and manifest.
Do you think that you have explored every talent that you have right now? Are you doing everything that you want to do?
I want to be a singer, but no, ain't gonna happen. I just annoy people when I sing. It's okay. I think my best gift that I've given to the world is my son. And he has grown into a wonderful, wonderful person. Not just my son, but a wonderful person for the world. And given me great grandchildren. I've got a great family, and that really takes up the majority of my time. Right now, I have possession of my granddaughter, who is a junior in college in Richmond. Possession, I'm fixing it. I didn't get to be around her when she was growing up, and she chose to go to college near my house.
Well, you do have possession.
And I have possession of her. I'm having so much fun with her.
Awesome.
It's family is everything to me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I can tell that family is everything to you. Just the way you were talking about the cookbook and about setting the table and bringing the family together. And I think that's the reason why Christmas and Thanksgiving are my favorite times. Not so much about the gifts and everything, but just about bringing the family together. So I'm guessing in this cookbook, are there some recipes that we can use for the upcoming holidays?
Yeah, but the sweet potato souffle. My mother's. My mother did this recipe every year, sweet potato souffle. I like it better because it's not quite as sweet as candied sweet potatoes, candied yams. They're a little too sweet for me. But this is a fluffy, wonderful way to serve sweet potatoes, and the recipe's in here. And then I have how to cook a turkey.
Uh-oh.
How to cook a turkey. And it starts with very basic things like stick your hand in the butt and pull that stuff out of the stuff. That's the way my cookbook reads. Get that stuff out, open a little bag, put it in some water, and start making the juice for your gravy. Just boiling things to make the juice for your gravy. Then it tells you all about chicken. The turkey. So that's in here, as well as a lot of other fun recipes. There's another fun recipe that my husband has given me, and it's called King Tim's King Crab Legs. And it starts with you open a can of beer. You take a sip.
I knew that was going to be the next line.
Then you get your crabs ready. And you put the beer in the crab. And then you drink a little more beer. Then when the crabs are finished and you've gotten all your seasonings and stuff in there, you take the crabs out, you put them on the brown paper, and you drink the beer. This is the recipe. So follow the recipe very closely.
And exactly. Now, does he indicate which type of beer you should be taking a sip of?
Yes, but you can have that variety of choice. You decide what beer you want to play with your crab.
So I know you said you only have about 8 copies left of this cookbook. Do you ever plan to do another cookbook?
The next project I have on my drawing board is the first paragraph of my memoir. God, it's so hard to write.
I tell you.
What do you leave out?
And what do you have to put in?
What do you have to put in? I did like 16 pages. I'm just writing, and then I'm saying, people want to know stuff. So I'm in the process of evolving into the writer of my memoir, and it's going to take some time, so don't look for it soon. But this has been quite a wonderful journey for me. When I started the photo journey, I started a publishing journey. So I publish all my own things, and I do all the merchandising, I do all the designing, I do all the covers, I set it up on my computer, I send a file to the printer and tell them what kind of paper to put it on. I am from soup to nuts in the publishing of my books. And it has been a wonderful journey. I like the process of learning how to do each step as I go. It's just been a wonderful, wonderful way to take those waning years. I got 25 left. Okay, I turned 75 this year, so I got 25 left, and then I go for bonus round.
75 where? I don't see it. I don't see it.
You see when I get up, try to get back.
Okay, so we only have a few minutes left in the interview, but does anybody have any questions? Right here.
Hey, it's a pleasure to meet you. I was in the category with you on the Zoom for
Yes.
this interview. And I want to ask you if you had a picture of the Book of No Return. Did you visit it?
I visited one in Ghana. There are a couple of doors of no return. I did not go to Gordy Island, but there's also another door of no return in Ghana, and it's on the calendar. It is That's the door of no return in Ghana. Come on, questions? Come on, time. My life is an open book.
Do you plan to do another door anytime soon?
Depends on when I get a chance to travel. Because anytime I travel, I do collect my doors. I've got a book on Belgium, I've got a book on France, and a book on Cuba. So those are also available, but two of them are more of a catalog than the voyage that I took to Cuba, with a lot of stories included, as well as the Doors book has a lot of stories included in this book. So it's more of a journal kind of a book. And it tells you all about what was going on as I was traveling through all these wonderful places.
Does anybody have any? Yes.
Sarah, it's good to see you. Best advice for a person who wants to publish a book.
If you want to self-publish a book, read up on self-publishing a book. There's a lot of information to help you do that. If you want to publish it, know that you have to also be the advertiser and the designer and the promoter, because there's nobody else to do that but you. And if you want to take the full journey, self-publish, and then get yourself out there, meet with groups, tell the Deltas to have an Arts and Letter event and say, I'm one of the authors, I would like to share this with my sorors. There's lots of ways to promote yourself once you get it done. But know that you have to know the language of the printer. So you'll know what kind of type to use, what's the easiest to read, what the margins should be, what the paper should be. There's a lot to know in self-publishing, but just exploring. Exploring that's the fun part. Publishing it, that is good. So the exploring and the finding out how to do each little thing. There's an ISBN number, and you can go to a website and buy a bunch of ISBN numbers and use them in your books. There's lots of things you can do. Just explore all the different steps to get it out to where you want to get it.
Are there any other? Yes, ma'am.
She's behind the light.
Hi there. Hi. What a pleasure to meet you. Such an inspiration. Okay, so I need my turkey to come out right, so I want to know what brand of beer we're working with. So being all that you are, actress and author and traveler, what inspired you to self-publish your book?
I'm kind of greedy. I don't like to give my money away to folks who are doing something that I could do. I enjoyed the journey of seeing if I could lay out a book. And the first book I did, the Book of Doors, was not looking like this book, but I mocked it up and I got to interview with a publisher at Simon & Schuster. I went in and showed him my book. I said, "You want to publish my book?" And he said, "No." He said, "But if I were you, this book is not something that people look for in a bookstore. This is a book they look for in a gift shop." So I said, "Oh, okay, thank you." And he said, "How I would arrange it is to put all of this over here and put this over here." And I said, "Oh," and I took my notes. And 8 months later, I sent him a copy of the book that I published. And I used his notes to get it to where it should be. So do what you gotta do, but don't take no for an answer.
And another thing I heard in that story is that you were open to the criticism, you were open to the suggestions. You didn't go in and think that it was, well, you probably did think it was perfect when you walked in.
No, I thought it was okay. I was going to need some help.
But you listened to what he had to say, you took those changes, and then you made it into an even better product.
Yes.
I take advice from people who know what they're doing, and not people who want to do what I do. If they've done it, okay, I'll take your advice. If they want to do it, I wonder why they haven't. So, what can they tell me? So, any other questions? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
We're being shy.
I know.
While we're waiting for somebody to bring up, okay, there we go. Come on.
Another soul.
My question is around the photography. What kind of camera, what kind of equipment you're using, and are you actually producing those photos yourself or printing them?
I travel with a point-and-shoot digital camera. I do not have a tripod. I do not have a light kit. I do not have lenses. I have a point-and-shoot camera. I take one shot of a door. I collect those on the little card, and I put them into my computer. And I have learned Photoshop and Lightroom and InDesign, all the Adobe things. I know how to make them work. So what I do is I enhance the photos so that they look like what I saw when I took the picture. And that's what I want to share with you. What God has done to this door, what the life was like when I took this picture, the craftsmanship, the detail, the color, the texture, that's what interests me. And it's the details that I told you makes life great. And I'm hoping to inspire you to notice your details.
Wonderful. Now, do you have any, well, I was about to say, do you have any acting projects coming up, but probably not yet. Oh, you do?
I got a movie that's coming out. I think Hulu, I'm not sure where she sold it, but it's called Call Me Now. And it's a story of Miss Cleo. Do you all remember Miss Cleo? The soothsayer?
Are you gonna be Miss Cleo?
Call me now. No, I'm her mother. Dear, I'm young. I'm her mother. And I'm one of the banes of her existence, but I come to the rescue in the end.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful movie, and I have the privilege of saying my husband was a director, and we've had one screening so far, and it's gone over very well. So I hope you enjoy it as well. Call me now.
I'm looking forward to that. I used to love those commercials. No, I just like the commercial.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Yes.
I just want to thank you for your contribution to you and your husband, what you all have done, the movies, the studios, the found you all have been a blessing to everyone, and I want to say thank you.
I want to thank the community for supporting us through all of these challenges that we had to make that happen. But we believe in taking our culture in our own hands and not let somebody else tell our story. So,
Do you want to talk a little bit about the movies that you and your husband are doing, the work that you and your husband are doing?
it's not me and my husband anymore. I don't work with him. He has gone on to create a streaming network.
Wow.
So he's just put it up. It is our culture. It is all the projects that he has created over the past 50 years. And he has an institute where he's been training filmmakers for the past 12 years. And his students have gone on to be fine filmmakers, and they're supplying him with their projects as well. So he has a whole network, an international network of fellows that came through his institute, and they all at times work together to produce things. One's got a studio that he built in Nigeria. Another one's got a wonderful movie that's coming out about the beginning of Black culture. Just wonderful, wonderful projects. We've got one fellow who is now running programming at the BBC. I mean, we got some good folks out there, and we are so proud to call them our fellows and to know that they understand the responsibilities of creating images that reflect our culture and to respect the culture that we have created in the world and to share that and make sure that our children, regardless of what governors and states do, our children learn about the pride of ownership of our culture and what we have brought to this world, how we have built this world. They'll get over it. They'll get over it. But we have to take on the responsibility of passing on as griots from our community, teaching our children because they're not going to learn it in school. So I don't work with him on that project. But if he's directing a project and the producer wants me to be in it, I usually am in it. We're still happily married. Let's see, this year it'll be 41 years. We have been married. I can't believe it either. And for both of us, this is our second time around. So I've been married all my life. And I'm just blessed, absolutely blessed. We have a great relationship. We have wonderful children and grandchildren, and our life could not be more gifted than it is. We're just really, really blessed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, last question.
So beautifully attired. I'm wondering if you could tell us about your designs and how you work with people related to your fashion designs.
Daphne Styles is a custom design. I make two different kinds of coats. This one in Chinese silk brocade in fabulous colors. You get to choose your color. You get a measurement. You choose your fabric. I make your coat, and I don't care where you are, I send it to you. And I do that as a custom business. The other coat style I do is called a swing coat. And anybody can wear this coat. It's just beautiful. And I create it out of the fabric of your choice. And it is lined. This one is not lined, but that one is. I just got finished with one that was made out of a faux fur, black faux fur. And it looks like a black mink coat. She's thrilled with it. And she's up in Detroit. So if you see her, that's Daphne's coat.
Daphne Maxwell Reid, thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you for your contributions to the literary world. If you would like any of the books that you talked about today, you can go to the front of the room and she will be there and she'll be signing those books. But remember, there were only 8 copies of this cookbook left, so you have to do some special ordering if you want them. All right, so thank you so much. So, all right, Miss Daphne's gonna go to the front. Don't forget, the next interview will take place in about 14 minutes, and it will be with Miss Donna Hill, so we will see you soon. Also, if you set your name into the drawing for the $2,500 exposure package, we will be drawing the winner at 3:30. Over at this table right over here.